Filipina tennis star Alex Eala reached her new career best number 31 WTA ranking, jumping 16 spots after a quarterfinal finish in the Dubai Duty Free Tennis Championship.
This time around, she achieved her best-ever ranking of 31 by climbing 16 spots in just one single tournament. That achievement is simply mind-blowing. Before we dive deep into those details, let me share a crucial perspective with you. Certain moments in athletics transcend the boundaries of the game itself. These are the rare moments when you are no longer merely observing an athlete compete. You are witnessing a fierce warrior fight against powerful opponents and deep inner doubt. It is a courageous battle against a massive system that does not want to see them achieve monumental success. Right now in the world of professional women's tennis, that relentless fighter is Alex Eala. The things she is accomplishing on the court are completely extraordinary. Eala has delivered a powerful statement directly to the tennis authorities. These officials seem entirely unready to welcome her into the elite upper echelon of professional tennis. Despite this resistance, Eala continues to perform absolute miracles on the court. Her remarkable journey at the Dubai Championship stands as a brilliant testament to her limitless potential. Observing her spectacular career trajectory, it is only a matter of time before the association is forced to acknowledge her. They will have to accept her as the absolute real deal in tennis. During the fiercely competitive Dubai Championship, Eala etched another milestone into the history books. She masterfully defeated Jasmine Paolini, a formidable player holding the number 8 spot in global rankings. Paolini represents the third opponent ranked within the top 10 of the world that Eala has successfully conquered in her career. In addition to taking down Paolini, she secured stunning victories over highly skilled players like Hailey Baptiste and Sorana Cirstea. All of these magnificent wins were achieved with remarkable ease until she faced world number 4, Coco Gauff. However, even that minor setback diminishes absolutely nothing about the immense talent Eala demonstrated in Dubai. She undeniably belongs competing at that elite championship level. Every single person watching the tournament could clearly see it, and the official rankings firmly validate her status. Here is the exact detail that makes this incredible story even more monumental. Alex Eala secured her legacy as the only female tennis player in recorded history to defeat a world number 2 and multiple major champions. She conquered giants like Madison and Iga Swiatek before breaking into the top 20 of the global rankings. This stands as an absolutely phenomenal achievement for an athlete as exceptionally young as Eala. She courageously confronts every single challenge directly head-on. By doing so, she proves herself against her harshest critics within the association, who stubbornly refuse to give her the immense credit she deserves.
To the updated rankings on Monday, February 23rd, Eala defeated Hailey Baptiste, 2024 tournament champion Jasmine Paolini, and Sorana Cirstea in the WTA 1000 tournament.
Once she began showcasing that extraordinary level of skill, the entire bureaucratic machinery of the Tennis Association seemingly launched a targeted campaign against her. While Eala was executing an unbelievable run against Iga Swiatek and playing the greatest tennis of her life, a highly suspicious incident occurred. It is an event that simply cannot be casually ignored. Seemingly out of nowhere, a match umpire suddenly raised a bizarre issue. The official completely unexpectedly accused Eala of bringing strictly prohibited items onto the tennis court. Take a moment to deeply consider the suspicious timing of that specific accusation. She was standing right in the middle of causing one of the most massive upsets in recent tennis history. The massive stadium crowd was going absolutely wild in passionate support of her incredible performance. The competitive momentum had shifted entirely into her favor. Right at that exact crucial moment, a manufactured controversy suddenly materialized out of thin air. It had absolutely nothing to do with the actual sport of tennis, the exceptional quality of her play, or the legitimate events unfolding on the court. The entire situation felt incredibly calculated and entirely deliberate. It felt exactly like a meticulously planned attempt to violently shatter her deep concentration. It seemed designed to drag her out of her focused zone and deeply rattle the mental composure of a brilliant young player. She was actively outplaying one of the most famous names in the entire sport. The timing of that disruption was entirely too perfect to ignore, and every single person watching that match felt the undeniable tension. You absolutely do not raise that specific kind of issue at that precise moment by mere accident. But Eala completely refused to stop her incredible momentum. She did not crack under the immense pressure or let the blatant interference rattle her focus. She marched right back out onto the court and decisively finished the job against Iga Swiatek. By winning that critical match, she broadcast a powerful message that resonated far beyond the world of tennis. She made it abundantly clear that she cannot be derailed by underhanded tactics or rigged situations. However, that monumental victory also made another harsh reality abundantly clear to the rising star. She realized she is no longer just battling the skilled opponent standing on the opposite side of the tennis net. She is simultaneously facing deeply illogical scrutiny from tournament authorities who seemingly despise seeing a Filipina athlete achieve such massive success from scratch. Shockingly, that was not even the only troubling incident she had to endure. During another highly contested moment, a match umpire made a crucial line call that was visibly and undeniably incorrect. The tennis ball landed cleanly within the legal bounds, and anyone watching the match could plainly see it. Yet, the official outrageously called it out of bounds. When Eala rightfully challenged that terrible call, the umpire refused to simply correct the obvious mistake and award her the earned point. Instead, the official shockingly demanded a complete replay of the entire point. She absolutely deserved to be awarded that point without any further argument or exhausted debate. The ball was definitively in bounds, but rather than giving her what she rightfully earned, they forced her to play the grueling sequence over again. This exact situation highlights exactly what makes Eala such a fiercely special competitor. She refused to simply accept the blatant injustice in silence. She marched directly up to the chair umpire with a calm but absolutely firm demeanor and explicitly stated that she knew exactly what they were doing. The unwavering confidence radiating from her voice perfectly matched the fierce determination burning brightly within her eyes. She firmly decided she was never going to be intimidated by corrupt officials. She absolutely refused to let the tennis establishment push her around on the court. She recognized exactly what was happening and courageously called them out on their behavior right there on the live broadcast. That singular moment revealed everything you need to know about who Alex Eala is, as both a fierce competitor and a person of immense integrity. When her undeniable rise could no longer be ignored, the organization deliberately placed her on the smallest courts at the Australian Open. This malicious scheduling move was designed to physically prevent thousands of her dedicated fans from entering the stadium to support her. These were incredibly devoted fans who had traveled massive distances just to witness her play. These loyal supporters showed up specifically to cheer Eala onward to victory. The Tennis Association coldly responded by ensuring the chosen venue physically could not hold her massive crowd. When this blatant disrespect occurred, the most legendary names in professional tennis immediately took notice. Novak Djokovic publicly and directly called out the organization for their terrible behavior. According to Djokovic and numerous other experts paying close attention, the poor management of her match scheduling played a massive role in her untimely elimination from the tournament. Furthermore, the legendary Djokovic was absolutely not subtle about expressing his deep frustration regarding the entire ordeal. He stated loudly and with crystal clarity that the deliberate venue choice by the tournament officials worked heavily against Eala. Using his own powerful words, Djokovic declared that Alex Eala is the greatest tennis player the Philippines has ever produced and deserves global respect. He emphasized that the Tennis Association is actively failing to give her that rightful respect. He boldly claimed they are not treating her with basic fairness. Furthermore, he stated that their intentional lack of proper tournament management directly contributed to her heartbreaking first-round exit at the Australian Open. When the universally recognized greatest male player of all time points his finger at a powerful institution and declares something is fundamentally wrong, nobody gets to simply look away in silence.
Alex Eala, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries. Like, she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest.
Jessica Pegula also made it abundantly clear that in her seasoned eyes, Alex Eala is far more than just a promising youngster, desperately trying to find her footing on the professional tour. She is an authentic rising star in the truest sense of the phrase, and someone who has already proven time and time again that she rightfully belongs at the absolute pinnacle of this grueling sport. However, the Women's Tennis Association blatantly refuses to treat her with that level of well-deserved respect. Pegula absolutely refuses to remain silent about this glaring injustice, directly referencing her own intense match against Eala at the prestigious Miami Open. She distinctly remembered walking out onto that court and being completely stunned by the atmosphere, noting that the sheer energy pulsing through the venue was genuinely electric. The massive crowd was fiercely passionate, incredibly loud, and deeply invested in every single point, leading Pegula to describe the entire experience as absolutely insane. She was definitely not complaining about the noise, but rather marveling at a brilliant young athlete who had effortlessly cultivated a massive following that even veteran superstars could only dream of having. Yet, inexplicably and completely out of nowhere, the tennis authorities decided to relegate this massive draw to the absolute smallest courts available. Every single piece of evidence seemingly points in one incredibly troubling direction, which is that the association simply does not like Eala and her amazing success. Pegula candidly explained that she played Eala during her initial breakout run last year in Miami, and despite playing in her own hometown, she was shocked to find the entire stadium actively rooting against her. She found herself looking around the packed stands and wondering where on earth all of these incredibly dedicated supporters had suddenly come from. Then, week after week, as Eala continued to perform exceptionally well and firmly established herself as a truly dominant force on the professional tour, the crowds only grew larger. Those devoted fans continued showing up in massive droves to support her every move, which perfectly explains why the heavily overcrowded situation in Australia happened when officials foolishly placed her on an inadequately small court. The overarching narrative that begins to emerge from this recurring pattern of behavior is deeply uncomfortable to witness. It paints a disturbing picture of a massive sporting institution that appears deeply threatened by a young Filipina woman who is rapidly ascending the ranks, capturing too much public love and proving all of her stubborn doubters completely wrong. The deeply troubling racial undertones surrounding this entire situation have become a major topic of open conversation among tennis fans and analysts alike. When you carefully examine the recurring pattern involving suspicious umpire interference, deliberately minimized court sizes, and terrible match scheduling, it becomes incredibly difficult to find any other logical explanation. But here is the most incredible part about Alex Eala, which is that absolutely none of this blatant adversity has managed to slow her down. In merely one single year, she has miraculously skyrocketed from being ranked 100th in the world all the way up to number 31. She has systematically dismantled some of the absolute best players on the entire planet, while shattering historic records that nobody else has ever even come close to touching. She has successfully built a fiercely loyal global fan base that willingly travels across the entire world just to watch her compete, and she has achieved all of this while battling systemic obstacles that most athletes will thankfully never have to face. The Tennis Association can continue to unfairly banish her to the smallest courts, and the umpires can keep making their highly questionable calls against her. The harsh critics and relentless doubters can continue spewing whatever negativity they want, but the official ranking numbers absolutely do not lie, and her spectacular match results certainly do not lie. With legendary figures like Novak Djokovic standing firmly and publicly in her corner, it is absolutely crystal clear exactly who is ultimately winning this monumental fight. Alex Eala has evolved into something far greater than just a brilliant tennis player. She has become an unstoppable global movement, and you simply cannot stop a movement of this magnitude.